Alright, this video is going to be a pretty quick one. I just want to get my thoughts out the door before the next update gets announced, and I feel like it's got to be said. Monster Hunter Rise's Endgame is not that good. The main gameplay cycle is getting monster materials to throw into the melding pot to get some good talismans. The problem is that the melding pot feels like EDP-445 trying to find a 13-year-old girl that isn't a cop. There's two main issues that I see with the endgame as it is now. It's not really that fun, and it's going to be completely pointless when the G-Rank expansion comes out. Sure, your weakness exploit plus 2 with a 3-2-1 deco slot is pretty good, but it's not going to be nearly as good when the weakness exploit plus 3 with a 3-2-1 comes out. Farming right now is pretty much pointless because inevitably there's going to be a G-Rank expansion. Some people might argue that this game might not get a G-Rank expansion because it's more a side game rather than a mainline console title like what World was. First of all, what? There's literally no reason for Capcom to not release a G-Rank expansion for this game. If they don't release one, then they're pretty much just going to add a couple more monsters, and then they're going to work on the next one, which I guess would be fine, but that would really be unexciting and not worth the $60. Why would Capcom pass on making Monster Hunter Rise Dragonborn? Listen, what I'm trying to say is that there's no way that there isn't going to be a G-Rank expansion. Whether it's going to be a month from now or a year from now, they're still going to add one because Capcom gets them free money. Why would they not add a G-Rank expansion?
That shit look like the battle pass.
Alright, I'll say definitely that the endgame is way better than when it started because Narwa is okay, I guess. It's kind of a fun fight, but it definitely gets old fast. And there was also the rampages, which you could do to farm materials, but I don't really like the rampages, and I don't think a lot of people do either way. Camilio, Seosra, and Kushala are great additions, and I'm so glad that they're actually in the game. I'm certainly happy that there isn't any hyper-tempered monsters that the game just decided to power creep in, because it was so cool when these monsters have 1 billion health and do insane damage. I feel like this game just doesn't hold up to previous entries. It's certainly better than World, but I also haven't played that much of World, so I can't really make a good judgment call on that. And I'm riding off the back of Generations Ultimate. I'm not sure why this game feels more boring than it probably is. I think it's because this game is super easy. I've soloed every quest in this game. I only go online to have fun. And then the bow main dies twice, and I'm not having fun anymore, and I go back to soloing everything. A lot of hunts back in previous games would take around 15 to 20 minutes if you were doing it by yourself. Like, say in 3 Ultimate, it would probably take you about 20 minutes to hunt a Silver Rathalos. But in this game, it takes 10 minutes. And another big problem that I see is that the health scales a little too much. So no matter if you're soloing it or if you're with 4 people, it's still going to take the exact same amount of time. Hell, it might even take more time since the monster is focusing on other people and running away more. There's pretty much no reason not to solo everything because monsters don't even really do that much damage anyway. I think another big reason that this game just feels boring is the monster selection. There's really not that much. There's only about 40 monsters in this game, which is good, but compared to the normal 70 or more that other entries have had, you start to realize that this game is not as complete as you'd think it is. It's not, and it doesn't even spice up the grind that much. Hell, there's no real point of fighting any of the other real monsters because they don't provide enough points to put into the melding pot. The Apex monsters are nice, but I hate that I have to do the rampages to fight them normally. I mean, they just added the fact that you can fight them outside of the rampages, which is good. It's a step in the right direction, but you still can't fight all of them outside of rampages. Apex Rathalos and Diablos you cannot fight outside of the rampages, as I'm currently aware, but they'll probably take that out once the next update comes out, and that'd be really cool because those are really fun fights that I have to slog through the rampage to get through. It's very obvious that Capcom wanted the players to do the rampages, but I don't really feel that they thought the rampages out well enough. I'm not actually fighting the monsters until a counter signal is fired. So pretty much the whole time I'm mashing the A or the X button on the ballista until a cannon unlocks or the machine cannon unlocks. The siege weapons are like cool, but it's definitely not something that you can build an entire fight around. You know what I mean? They're cool add-ons for fights, like in Narwa's case, where it feels like the threat is insurmountable, but once the siege weapons come in, you're doing a lot more damage than usual. But when you have to fight a bunch of normal monsters that go down in a couple hits to these, it really doesn't feel like fun. It's more like a button masher. Every rampage just feels like the Lao Shan fight from Generations Ultimate, where you're basically just hitting him with your siege weapons and not really attacking him until the very end. The Gen Moran fight is fun and interesting because you have to shoot him, but you also still have to attack him with your weapons, because they do more damage to him. Unless you have certain food skills, but that's beside the point. Not to mention you can also hop on the Gen Moran's back and break the rocks, and you can drop bombs on him. It's a really fun fight, but the rampages don't replicate this, even though I think they're trying to. Listen, if I wanted to do a tower defense game, I'd just play Bloons Tower Defense.
Check the internet lately.
Alright, well, that's enough complaining from me. I just kind of wanted to say that the endgame in its current state isn't really that fun, and I wanted to get this video out before the next update comes out, which they're adding a new ending, so that might mean a new final boss, which might mean another monster to grind for the melding pot. But still, even if they add more content, unless it's a G-rank expansion, there's still no real reason to play the game once you beat all the village quests and the arena quests. You could get the guild card achievements, which is kind of what I tried to do, but I don't really want to do 50 rampage quests, so we'll hold off on that for now. And I'm not even saying that this game is bad. I have over 100 hours on this game, but I feel like I can't really squeeze any more out of this. And for comparison, I have about 300 on 3 Ultimate, over 600 on 4 Ultimate, and about 500 on Generations and Generations Ultimate combined. The big thing about these games is that you can spend a lot of time on them, you can get lost for hours, but that's not really here because there's just not enough content. Anyways, watch me live sometime. I usually stream Monster Hunter, but probably not for a little while. I might stream Mario Kart. Me and my friends play Mario Kart. That's what we do. We sound like we're on crack. It's great. Hopefully the next vid is a Fire Emblem video. I have that in the works currently. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you're on the lookout for that. And even hit dislike, because it still helps me in the algorithm. So if you hated it, express your opinion, and then tell me down below. It's a win-win for all of us.